Hello, power people. Welcome to Jube Vision. As always, thank you for checking out the video. This is the Raising Kanan Season 2 Episode 4 recap, and I'm not going to hold you. We're going to get right to it. Let's go. So we open up with a quick look at how the fam moves the dope in between spots. They actually putting packs of crack behind the walls inside of moving trucks. They screw the panels of the walls and over the dope, and it just looks like a clean moving truck. But somebody knows this ain't a clean moving truck. Because even with all those precautions being taken, the truck coming into Newark gets attacked by a couple of Italians, and as they do it, they say, nothing comes into Newark without Sal Boselli getting his piece. One of them steps in front of the truck with a shotgun, then the other opens the driver's door with the gun and tells the driver to get out. Funny thing is, after they beat the driver down, it doesn't look like they even take anything. Looks like they just wanted to make a point. Then we drop in on Cartier and Rock on what looks like a date in an art gallery. He's explaining the artwork to her before she tells him he doesn't have to put on airs because she knows who he is and knows he's from Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Cartier says he's just different in different situations. Rock finally tells Cartier that she's interested in knowing how he does what he does. Cartier was introduced in episode 2 of this season as a big New York drug dealer, but with super clean money, his hands in everything. Rock wants to know how he lives downtown and cops paintings and all that. Then Cartier gives it to her. He washes his money through these expensive paintings, buys them with cash, and when he sells the painting, the money's clean. Next, we look in on Kanan going into a correctional institution. Once in, he has a visitation with DEFCON's brother, Vernon. Initially, Vernon doesn't know who he is. He hasn't seen Kanan since Kanan was a baby. Kanan asks him if DEFCON is for sure his daddy. Vernon takes offense, aggressively asking who else gonna be his daddy, and wondering if Rock said she was with someone else at the time. Kanan tells him it's nothing like that, just people talking. Then Vernon tells him not to listen to the chatter, and that he's just like DEFCON, same eyes, same heart, and DEFCON would have done the same thing he's doing. Vernon ends the convo telling Kanan that DEFCON was already running corners at his age and that Kanan's a man now, so he should go out there and get it. And adds, not to forget about his Uncle Vernon and his commissary. After this, we see Lou walking into the studio taking a call. Someone's letting them know about the drama that just happened in Newark. And Lou's response is, they need to tell Marvin Rock because he already thought Jersey was a bad idea and he's not dealing with it. When he walks into the studio, the whole mixing board is missing. Just then, Crown walks in and tells him that he had to sell it to take care of some expenses, but that he's about to get another one. When he tells Lou to relax, Lou slaps the cereal out of Crown's hand, slams him up against the wall, and tells him he is relaxed, but that Crown doesn't want to see him agitated. Back to Kanan coming out of the correctional facility. We see Rock had Marvin take Kanan up there. As Kanan comes out, Marvin gets the same call we just saw Lou get about Jersey. He responds that he's on the road. He can't do nothing about it now, then yells at the person to call Lou before he hangs up the phone. When Kanan gets back in the car, Marvin sees he looks a little disappointed. First, we hear that the fam doesn't seem to have too high of an opinion of Vernon. Apparently, Vernon was a dirty character who used to stick up old ladies for their welfare money. Then Marvin drops some gems on young Kanan. He tells him he has a mother who loves him more than anything and a family that is always there for him no matter what. And though they may not always be the people he wants them to be, when it comes down to it, that love is all anyone can ask for, and that they're all that should matter because they are the ones that are here for him. Then it's time to see Juke checking in about her family. We see her walking up the steps to a brownstone and ringing the buzzer. When Kenya answers, Juke hesitates, then tells her who it is. Kenya lets her in. Once inside, the meeting starts off awkward. Kenya tells Juke this is a surprise for her, but a wonderful surprise. Kenya tries to start with some pleasantries, but Juke jumps right into it and asks her why she left her. Kenya explains that she was young and scared. She says she ran away hoping to make it singing in LA and come back and get Juke, but things didn't work out as planned. She says she fell in with the wrong people, and before she knew it, 10 years had passed, and she figured it was too late to go back. Juke tells her it wasn't. Then Kenya starts thanking and praising God that Juke is even there, and she asks Juke to give her a chance. We see Juke appear to be moved. At the spot at Baisley, Marvin and Kanan get back to meet Rock there. Lou walks in right after they do. Kanan tells Rock that Vernon didn't have much to say. Then the fam get down to business. They tell Kanan to go in the other room and watch TV as they talk. Kanan starts to go in, then starts complaining about the smell. Rock and Lou look at each other knowingly. Marvin tells Kanan he thinks rats are dead in the walls, tells him there's some air freshener in there, and comically pushes him into the room. Inside the room, Kanan finds some money in a shoebox among many shoeboxes in the closet and helps himself to a stack of tins. Back in the living room, the fam is talking about their Jersey problem. Marvin and Lou are saying they don't want to be on the wrong side of the Italians and that they should have got the lay of the land first. But Rock is unfazed. She says the real work they do isn't dealing drugs. It's solving these different problems that pop up every day. Then after she accuses Lou of being eager to roll over just so he can go back to his studio, she tells her brothers that no one's going to tell her where she can and can't do business and to set up a meet with the Italians. At the bodega, apparently Rock and fam have got one of their soldiers to sit and look after the stash so no one comes in and jacks it again. All of a sudden, in walks Unique. Juliana looks scared and starts looking to the back where the soldier is. Neek tells her that they got off on the wrong foot and that it wasn't personal. When Neek leaves, though, he walks to a car outside and Worrell is sitting behind the wheel. Neek stands outside the car as the two start talking. You can't hear what they're saying, but it seems to be a friendly business conversation. Something's going on. We go back to Baisley and see Rock and Kanan leaving the spot. Lou walks up behind them and asks Kanan to step away so he can talk to Rock for a hot sec. Kanan says he's grown and he's tired of always having to step away. But Rock tells him to go ahead for a sec, and he finally does. Lou tells Rock he's short on cash and that he needs her to float him some. They go back and forth about the studio again. She says it's not making any money. He says it needs more time. Of course, she says she'll give him some money, but puts on it the condition that he show up to all their business meetings on time and that he be on point with the business from now on. At the car, first we hear that it was Kanan that asked Rock to talk to Vernon. Then Kanan finally asked Rock why she wanted him to kill Detective Howard. She told him before that it was to protect them, but he wants to know what they needed protection from. She lies and tells him that Howard had threatened to lock Kanan up for killing Buck 20. When Kanan pushes back, Rock digs in and tells Kanan that before Kanan shot Howard, Howard was going to threaten Kanan that either Kanan snitched on Rock or Howard would send him to prison for murder. She adds that Kanan was the only one that Howard would have let get close enough to shoot him. Kanan really looks like he's having a hard time believing her. Then Rock smiles and tells Kanan she loves him, and Kanan has no choice but to drop it. Next, Ju goes to her old room in Marvin's house to pick up what looks like some dresses. When she gets into her old room, it's been repainted from pink to blue. Marvin's also replaced the TV he broke in their fight. He put up some new music-themed wall decorations, and he's brought her all kind of new music devices, a keyboard, a microphone and speaker, and more. It doesn't seem like Marvin is at the house at first, but then he rounds a corner looking like he hears a noise and enters Juke's room. Juke looks startled to see him. Marvin points out the new additions to her room and asks her if she likes them. Juke looks around at everything, then just walks out, leaving Marvin standing there looking very hurt. Then we're back in Jersey again for the meeting with Sal Baselli and the Italians. Sal rolls up deep and opens up telling Rock and fam that nothing goes on in Newark without him signing off and getting a cut. Lou tries to apologize, but Rock cuts him off and tells Sal they are not sorry because they didn't see him in the projects. Sal says that doesn't matter and gives her the price of doing business written on a piece of paper. Rock throws it on the ground, says no, and walks away, with Marvin and Lou following her. Back at Rock's car, Rock gets on Lou for speaking for her, and Lou points out that when it goes down, they'll all be in danger. Rock tells Marvin that Lou's scared. When she asks Marvin if he is, he says no. She tells Lou that he needs to get on board, then says they're going to switch their method of transportation from the truck to a short bus. We drop in on Famous at what looks like his new spot. He's having a house party and it looks pretty lit. Weed, drinks, girls, video games. He announced that Kanan has paid for everything. Then we hear a knock on the door. When Kanan answers it, two attractive women are there saying they should probably keep it down inside because some neighbors will call the police. Kanan finds out that the two are mother and daughter. The daughter, Corinne, gets permission from her mom to party with them for a little and walks inside. But as the mother, Palomar, walks away, We see her flirting hard with Kanan. Next, Howard is with the same pro, Andrea, at this spot again. He's having some equipment problems in the actual act, and as Andrea tries to comfort him a little, he tells her he has a son that's about the same age as her own son. We learn that the two have been having their meetups for about 7 years, so they have history. She gives him some advice about being there for his son. Then, at Rock's house, Rock comes in and finds Juke there alone. When she asks Juke where Kanan is, Juke lets her know that Famous got a new spot and he's having people over. Then tells her Famous got the spot because Crown knew the person who owned the building. Juke says she's going to drop by Famous's later, then lets Rock know that she saw Kenya earlier. Rock is very surprised, and after asking questions about how that happened and seeing how happy Juke is about it, she tells Juke that family is earned and not a given. We finally see the fam spot at the 40s. Marvin is there with Warrell. Marvin is counting money and he tells Warrell they're short $600. Apparently that's why Warrell called him there. Warrell tells him he counted it himself and it was in a shoebox in a closet back at Baisley. After Marvin clowns him for leaving it in the closet at all, he tells him to tighten up and that they need to find out who's skimming and deal with it. Then he asks him to make a run for him later. Juke pops into Famous's party. Famous is super happy to see her. Kanan is on the couch making out with his new friend Corin, who we hear tell Kanan that he's not single anymore. While Famous is going on about how excited he is about everything, Crown walks in. Famous runs and gives him some love. When Crown steps to Juke, we see she's still upset about their last conversation where Crown got on her about her boyish look. He gives her a track that he says she'll love. She takes it and walks away. Lou's at the studio with Cartier. It looks like Cartier just helped Lou get a new mixing board. The two talk for a little and Lou complains that people keep getting in the way of him trying to do this music thing. Cartier gives him some words of inspiration and tells him to turn up. Rock drops into the bodega to pick up some money from the stash. On Rock's way out, Juliana confronts her about Neek coming into the bodega the other day and lets Rock know that she's not happy that nothing has been done to him. Rock tells her that it's just strategy, but this doesn't sway Juliana. Kanan pops in on Juke in her room, putting away the dresses she had just got from Marvin's house. She tells him she's going to church with her mother. Kanan asks how the meeting went, and Juke says it's too soon to tell, but says her mom's eyes felt so familiar. Then Symphony shows up in the next scene. Rock has asked him to check out a house with her. She flirts a little, but before it gets into anything else, he asks her what happened that night that he took Kanan out of state in last season's finale. She just tells him that cops were wilding though and that she wanted her son protected. Nothing about Kanan and shooter detective Howard. Next we see Neek on the phone in his tailor shop. He's telling someone we assume to be connected with the Italians that the next drop will be in a short bus. He also says to leave the driver alone because the driver is with him. Then Detective Burke walks in and Neek hurries off the phone. She tells Neek that if she had been set up, she'd want to know who did it. But he just gives her a beautiful rendition of the Serenity Prayer and plays with her so she knows he won't be talking. Burke tells him she's not done, then leaves. Back at the house, Rock and Symphony are looking at. They finish their tour, and as the two stand outside, Symphony basically tells Rock that he wants more than she's willing to give. He asks her to stop continuing to pull him back and just let him go and let him move in. As he walks away, it looks like this really hits Rock. Later that day, as Rock gets back home, Kanan walks past her out the door. The two talk, but Rock notices that something is kind of suspect with Kanan and watches him from the door as he walks down the street. Marvin and Warrell pack up the short bus, and Warrell takes off to Jersey with the dope. Once he gets to Jersey, someone drives into the back of the bus, and then someone else cocks a shotgun at the bus door. When Warrell puts his hand up and opens it, the guy tells him to get out. Then the guy gets in and drives off. Warrell looks scared, but after everything is over, we see Warrell nod like he knows what's going on. He calls Marvin to tell him what happened. Marvin is obviously upset about the situation. Next, we see why Kanan may have just looked suspect. He's outside Howard's house. When he knocks on the door, Howard answers and invites him in. But as Kanan steps in, the camera pulls back and we see Rock in her Range Rover watching it all. Then she turns a corner and drives away. And that ends episode 4. We got a lot going on in this episode, fam. I'd love to hear what you thought about it in the comments below. Check me out later as I drop a video on my thoughts about this one. It was a good one. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and please subscribe to get more of this Raising Kanan content. Jube Vision, we out.